In today's video, we're answering the question, why is my case not eligible for a jury trial? Sometimes people will be charged with a crime, they will have representation from our office or from a public defender, and they will want to know if they're entitled to have their case and have their defense heard by a jury of their peers. So this is sort of like what you see in the movies, where you have a big panel of people and lawyers and the prosecutors make arguments in front of a jury. Some cases, you're not entitled to a jury. You can be still charged with a crime, but you can't have that type of trial. Instead, you get what's called a bench trial, which means you go in front of a judge, the judge hears those arguments, and the judge makes the decision as to whether you're guilty or not guilty. This can be very confusing for people, and unfortunately, the law is not very cut and dry on a lot of this stuff. Basically, the way that it works is if you're charged with a misdemeanor in Arizona, you're eligible for a jury trial if there was a common law antecedent for that type of crime. So what that means is, in Arizona, we have what's called statutory law. We have laws that were passed by Arizona, by our legislature, that they actually wrote on the books, and it's codified, it's in code in our statutes. Prior to Arizona becoming a state, there was what's called common law. Now, this derives from Old English law, and it's essentially law that is established as a result of precedent, and it was not statutory. So before the statutes came into place, a lot of law was relying on common law, sort of traditions that passed over through courts over all of the years. If there was a right to a jury trial in common law, meaning there was an antecedent in common law for this type of crime that is passed in Arizona, now you can be eligible for a jury trial. A lot of misdemeanors just simply don't have that antecedent. There is no common law right to a jury trial for that type of crime. The case that you're going to want to look up if you want to read in detail what it is, it's Fashek versus State of Arizona, decided by the Arizona Supreme Court in 2008. Essentially what it says is that rule. You need a common law antecedent, or you need a very serious crime. So you need some sort of severity that is going to require that a jury hears the case. And when I talk about severity, I'm talking about the penalties. So what they said specifically is that if it's less than 6 months of jail time or incarceration, that is not by itself, anything less than that is not by itself enough to be serious, which is kind of insane because 6 months in jail is a long time. You can lose essentially everything. If you lose your job, lose your marriage, lose time with your kids, you can really impact your life. It seems pretty serious to me. But that being said, this is how the law is interpreted. So this is why you're not eligible for a jury trial. It is not as cut and dry and black and white as may be pleasing to hear, but this is why it is the way that it is. Some cases are jury eligible, some cases are not jury eligible. So you need to take that into consideration when you're deciding what you want to do. Some people will come to us and they'll say, well, I have a right to be heard and I want to tell a juror of my peers that this was my situation, and they believe that they can be persuasive and convincing to that jury, when in reality, jury's never going to hear it. This is why it's also very important to know what judge you're in front of. What courtroom are you in? If your case goes to trial, who is going to be the judge who is hearing the case? We have a lot of experience with all of the judges all over Arizona, and so we can tell you if we need to do certain things like file a notice for a change of judge. There are some judges in Arizona, unfortunately, that never went to law school, that never passed a bar exam, that never got licensed to practice law. They just ran for office and got elected. There are many judges, unfortunately, who do not even listen to defense attorneys. They don't even listen to their arguments. We can present a very good defense, but if we're having a bench trial in front of a judge and not a jury, it may be just because of that judge's disposition, because of their background in law enforcement, or because of some other externalities, that they just don't listen to us and they're not going to rule in favor of a defendant no matter what arguments we make. So it's important to understand how this works. You need to know what cases are eligible for a jury trial and what cases are not, and then maneuver your case accordingly. If you or somebody you know or love has been charged with a crime and you're concerned about what type of trial you will have or what the situation looks like, whether you're in front of a good judge or a bad judge, as well as what type of jury you would be pooling from, what type of people would potentially be on that jury, we can help. We have a lot of experience in all criminal cases all over Arizona, so we know all the jurisdictions. We have a lot of good track record, a lot of experience in each one of these cases. So give our office a call. We offer free case evaluations. We'll have you come in, we'll sit down. We will review the facts of your case specifically. Make sure you have a plan in place. Give us a call, nothing to lose. We look forward to speaking with you soon. Thanks for watching.